Good afternoon and welcome. Glad you could join us today. So today we're talking about macOS Sequoia tips. So as you probably have heard, Tahoe is the new operating system. However, we're not recommending Tahoe yet. I've been checking it out on my test machine. I'm still having problems after another update a couple of days ago with Wi-Fi not working. So hold off on upgrading to Tahoe. Make sure your automatic updates are turned off. And you will be glad you did. So this is Go for Lunch for October the 14th, 2025. Brought to you by GoFor Technology. I'm Roger Harmon, your host, and we're here to make your technology work for you. It's International E-Waste Day, E as in electronics. So make sure you're retrieving, recycling, and reviving your electronics and responsibly recycling them. So places you can do that are my favorite, Keeper of the Grumper, which supports scouting for boys and girls. Suburban Miners. Best Buy will take recycling, as well as our friends at Simutech. So what can you send later? Well, messages in macOS Sequoia will allow you to send later. All you have to do is hit the little plus sign to the left of your text entry field and click on Send Later. And then you can specify the day and the date, I should say the time and the date, that you want it to be sent. So that looks like this. Here's the little plus that you would hit right here to the left of your message. And then you can click on Send Later, or you can also attach a photo. You can do stickers. You can use Image Playground. You can do images, and you can add message effects. But we're going to talk about Send Later. So when you click on the date down here, you are going to get a calendar, and you can choose any day of the week that you want. And then when you click on the time, you can change the time just by typing it in right here to any time that you want. So you can send later, especially nice if you're a night owl and you don't want to disturb somebody that might be sleeping. You can send it to them the next morning, and that way you are making sure that they will see it and not be disturbed by it. Window tiling is another feature of Sequoia, and you activate this by pressing on the green button in the upper left hand corner of your Mac screen, and it looks something like this. So here's your little green button right here. So you have the choice of how the windows are going to be tiled. You can have left and right, up and down. You can have a half screen on the left and quarter screens on the right. You can have quarter screens all across, or you can go into full screen. So it works best certainly on a large screen. On a MacBook it might be not quite as useful, but just the split screen probably would be okay. Let's see what we're doing here. So okay. All right, thank you, Bob. So we're going to back up here because I didn't switch to my slides. So to recap, International E-Waste Day. You can recycle your electronics at Keeper of the Grumper, my favorite, Suburban Miners, Best Buy, or our friends at Simutech. So Send Later In Messages, you hit the little plus sign and you choose Send Later, and you can specify the date and the time of the day, and that looks like this. So here's your choices. You click on Send Later, then you click on the date and choose from the calendar that pops up a appropriate date, and then you click on the time that's highlighted in blue, and you just type in the new time that you want it to be sent. So that's how you do Send Later. Window tiling. So you click the green button in the upper left hand corner right here, and you choose what windows you want arranged. So you have these choices here, left and right, top and bottom. You can also choose half screen on the left, quarter screens on the right, and you can have quarter screens all across. So this apparently or obviously is better for large screens. On a MacBook it probably doesn't work so well. iPhone mirroring. You can now mirror your iPhone on your Mac screen, and that's really good for iPhone exclusive apps that you can't get on your Mac. So let's see how that works. So first of all, you have to put your iPhone in sleep mode. Then we go over here to the dock, which I have on the left hand side of my screen, and you choose iPhone mirroring. And there it is. So now you hit connect. You put in your Mac password on your Mac keyboard, like so. You hit return, and voila, there you are. And there's the last thing I looked at. Thank you, Bob, again. And so there's your screen, and so you can scroll by using your magic mouse, right and left. If you scroll up, if you scroll down, you get your search bar, so you can search for an app. And to get back to your home screen, you would click on your little bar at the bottom. So let's see, what's an app that we can only use here? Let's see, let's look at Wi-Fi Sweet Spot. So this is an app that monitors your Wi-Fi signal in your house. So you can see we're getting a good signal, but eventually the signal will fade. Oh, there it goes. So it goes down to about half, but then it comes back up again, and we're getting up to a full signal again. So that lets you know what your Wi-Fi is actually doing. So that's one app that doesn't come out on the Mac. And let's see, let's find another app. Let's go into Auto folder here. And this is my dash cam. So here's my dash cam. It records a video of where I go. So let's see here. So here's a video from a previous trip. It also records audio. So as I drive along, the camera records everything in front of the car. So that's an app that I can't get on the Mac. So with iPhone mirroring, it comes available to me. So that's a good example of iPhone mirroring. New wallpapers are available in Sequoia. You get to those by hitting your Apple menu and System Settings, and then you choose Wallpaper. So let's get into Settings. There they are. So you go down here to the last selection on the kind of the second group here, which is wallpaper. And you get all sorts of choices. So these are dynamic wallpapers here. This is a neat one that has old Mac icons. So there's a lot of dynamic ones here. You can also do landscapes. Like here's a Sequoia sunrise. Here's Utah evening. Here's Redwoods River. Arizona Coal Mine Canyon. Lake Powell. And you can see there's lots and lots of choices here. Then the next category is cityscape. And you have Los Angeles Overpass, London Evening, San Francisco. You have New York from above. So those are all videos. You see with the little right arrow here, that means it's a video. Then you have underwater. So here's Alaskan jellies and California kelp forest, and we have Tahiti, and there's a humpback whale, and Costa Rica dolphins, and then we have videos from the space station. So you can pick your area: North America, the Caribbean, West Africa, Southern Europe. And then we have a shuffle mode where you can shuffle all the aerials, all the landscapes, all the cityscapes, and all the underwater and all the earth. Then you have some interesting patterns here with different colors. And then you can also use your own photos from your Photos app. And the way you do that is up here at the top. You click on Add Folder or Album, and then you would go down here and pick a shared album, for example. And then, so here's my shared album. So here's the little circular icon. That means it's going to rotate all those different pictures in that photo walk album. So here's our latest photo walk. And so that will be your screensaver and your wallpaper. When you have your computer open, it's the wallpaper, and when you have it closed, and you have your screensaver working. So also you have your zoom backgrounds down here. So you can see I've got zoom backgrounds that I've added. And so those are down there. They don't have the ones from Zoom, but they have the ones I've added. So that's a very good way to customize your desktop. Speaking of desktop, how about widgets on your desktop? So all you have to do is right click on the desktop, and you will get your widgets, and then you select Edit Widgets and just drag them off of the window into your desktop. So I'm going to right click on my desktop and go to Finder here. So I've got a little desktop over here showing. So I right click there, and you can see here I have Edit Widgets. So I click on that, and a window comes up. Now a lot of these widgets here on the left are actually iPhone apps. So you can take iPhone apps and add them as widgets. So you can also search for one. So let's search for weather. There's weather. So I have a bunch of choices here. I can have just the temperature, highs and lows. I can have the temperature with the hourly forecast. I can have a 5-day forecast here. I can have sunrise and sunset. So let's just grab that one and just drag it. So it drags up here to my desktop. And then you see the little minus sign here. So when you're in the edit mode here, when you have this window, that little minus sign will show up and you can delete the widget like that. So let's take this one. There we go. So now if I click here, that didn't work. You get back to the Finder and get rid of that and hide others. There we go. So now we have our weather with a 4-day forecast. But if I click on the widget, it brings the full weather app into play. So here I have wind speed chosen as my layer. You can choose layers right here. So you see I have wind chosen instead of precipitation, since all the skies are blue today. And I can see that the wind is coming from the south at 11 miles an hour. And if I close that with the red dot in the upper left hand corner, my widget is still there. So let's go back to our presentation right here. And bring up Keynote. There we go. So that brings us to questions and comments. Do me a little favor. Please forward the GoFor Gazette, which comes to you every Monday morning about 7 o'clock, to somebody you know that uses Mac devices. And if you haven't already, please subscribe so you'll be notified when we are live. So let's see what you have to say. So Leslie Ann says, I downloaded Tahoe. It has screwed up several things. Okay, well, you're kind of stuck with it, so just hang in there, and as they put out revisions, thank you for the thumbs up, by the way, then hopefully they will catch up with you. And Susan says, okay, we corrected that. We're just seeing you, no messages. And LJ says, the mirroring sounds good. And Susan says, basically with iPhone mirroring, you're seeing your iPhone on your Mac. So how is that different from just looking at your iPhone? Good question. Like I said, it's different because you can have apps on your Mac that only work on the iPhone if you want to, see them on your Mac. So, and LJ says, can you also be done on your iPad? I don't think so. I think it's only the iPhone. So they haven't extended that operation to your Mac. To your iPad. So hopefully these will give you some ideas of how to use your macOS Sequoia in more useful ways. Give you a little more information when you're looking. Thanks for the thumbs up. And If you think of anything you'd like to know more about or have a question about, you can call me or you can email me, and that information is coming up right now. So have a great week, and we'll see you next week at high noon for another Go for Lunch. Take care.